Well, all right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, Pastor Dowell here. Now, I may put this on my private patron group. I don't know you just yet. But I think this is going to be beneficial to anyone out there that's part of a team, that could be in a discipline, like in the military or an organization. I think this is one of the major problems that we're having today. It's because a lot of people just simply don't have understanding. They don't understand what is team, what is the sense of loyalty, and what is the understanding of that. Most people don't know how to function in life because many times people have never lived under a discipline, or people have never been at a high professional level of a discipline. You know, as a professional, you have to carry yourself certain ways. And I'm going to start with the team, and then I'm going to correlate that with the Army concept, so that people can get a comprehension and understanding. And then I'm also going to use an example in the scriptures as well, so that we can understand, comprehend the way that we all are supposed to be behaving. Because we've got to really, truly learn how to make a distinction. Okay, so I was talking with Elder Kabir, and him and I was having a discussion, and of course we was making the correlations between the team, because he played for the Green Bay Packers, and then of course me being a staff sergeant in the military, all right, a leader in there, all right, and then you all must understand this. Be you part of an organization, a church, a company. There are certain ways that you already know how to behave. At least I hope so in some part, because you're married. So listen real close, and I'm gonna show you what is some of the underlying reasons why there's a lot of dissension, division, and discords amongst people today. So listen, let's use the team concept. Let me give an example, okay? So let's just say the Green Bay Packers. They just got finished losing at home to the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? And of course the coach and the team would be in the locker room. And I got this firsthand knowledge from Elder Kabir himself. All right, so y'all can understand. Then I'm going to correlate it with the military. So the team would be in the locker room before the reporters come in. Now, I want y'all to understand this. The reporters are the enemy. The reporters is considered Satan. Now, some of these things I'm saying, I'm just putting, because I'm a pastor, I'm correlating this with the way that things should be and the way things are. So you have the team Green Bay Packers, and you know that the reporters, they're going to come in. And you know what they're going to come in? They're looking for blood in the water. They're looking for someone to point the finger and blame somebody else. They're looking for someone to be angry at somebody and to sow discord in the news media so that they can have their teeth into something juicy to help divide the organization and the team anymore. So to run damage control, there's enough fingers and there's enough pointing to go around whenever there's a loss. Everybody is happy. Even if you make mistakes, everybody is happy when you win, but when you lose, oh man, there's a big difference. So the coach would get the team together and say, listen, this is our story. This is our narrative. And basically, in a nutshell, this is pretty much our answers. So by time the leaders of the team, the ones, who always usually get interviewed, such as the defensive captain or the quarterback or something like that, or every once in a while they'll throw in a few other people. So the news media goes in, and they're not asking questions favorable to the team. They're looking for someone, and they form questions in such a manner, in such a way, to hope that the people who are answering for the team, this is called public relations, PR, would answer in a negative way, so that if a player says something negative about a coach, then the next thing they're going to do, they're going to want the coach up to do an interview. And, of course, then you've seen it sometime go off and go awry because somebody gets out of pocket because they would not put team first. Now, so you have to be guarded the way that you answer out in public, because the truth is we don't all live in glass houses. Everybody don't have a need to know everything. And you've got to learn how, listen, if you're part of the Green Bay Packers organization, the public don't need to know everything that goes on behind closed doors. The news media don't have a need to know. Now, if somebody is wrong in the organization, you can take care of that in-house. It's still going to get taken care of because we all know who's wrong and who messed up, and it needs to be addressed in-house. But the public don't need to know that there's division, there's dissension, there's anger, there's discord, and all this, because that's not good public relations. That is not the team concept. Let's go to the military. We train extremely hard. There's a lot of people. You see, whereas in sports, they train extremely hard. In the military, we train extremely hard, and people die in training all the time. And I'm talking about death is closely associated with military training. And I remember a time that I was in Op 4, and we were the opposing forces, right? And we was going against the 75th Ranger Battalion, okay? And, we're going in hard. Extremely hard. They got Chinooks doing infielding. We're jumping from aircraft. We're meeting up to fight at a certain place and time. Or, I can go on and on and on. Miles gear, lasers, everything's going on. Bombs going off, grenades going off, all kind of things going off. But not the grenades that carry frags, excuse me. So, sometimes we will find ourselves so close that there's a disagreement in our training that we would end up in fights. I'm talking about fights where people's teeth will get knocked out, blood will be spilt, and I'm talking about going for broke. Now, mind you, both of us are in the Army. Op 4, 75th Rangers, okay? You don't never, ever, ever hear out here in the public or know by the news media what type of training we've been doing. You never hear it. You never learn what happened on a rotation when we was in the box. You never, nope. You don't hear nothing about it. They don't tell you anything. Why? Because the Army is a team, and anybody else is outside is not part of that team. You don't have a need to know. Let's say we're in war. One of the most cowardice things that somebody could do is we could set up and be going to war, and we go to Iraq to go to war. The Army, right? I don't care what facet or what phase or what unit you in the military. And you know all of our secrets, and then you defect. And you go over and tell the enemy. The enemy starts to ask you questions, and then you go ahead and start singing. You start telling them times, dates, locations. You start telling them what our infill plans are, exfil plans. You start trying to tell them where's our X at, and all this other stuff. You start giving them sensitive information. You give them grid coordinates. You give them signal phone numbers and everything, and you give them frequencies. Excuse me. The last thing you need is the enemy to know something like that. That's what happens out here in the world. If you're in a church organization, everything should stay right there in house. The court of public opinion don't need to know. They're kind of like the news media, the enemy. They don't care about right or wrong. All they want is some juicy information, something to bring discord, division, and dissension. That's all they want, because they don't care nothing about the team. They don't care nothing about the Army. They care nothing about the church organization. Nothing at all. All they want is something to talk about. That's it. That's all they want, because they have no sense of loyalty. They have no sense of honor. They have no sense of discipline. They don't. They have no sense of connection whatsoever at all. Now, Don't tell me that we all don't understand this concept, because if you're married, husband and wife, you could be sitting up there and be at each other's throat. You could be arguing and fighting like junkyard dogs, calling each other names. Sometimes it could get physical. Hope not, but sometimes it could get physical. And then by the time you get to assembly, you got on your little smile. Sometimes it could be painful and we could discern something wrong, but we won't ask because you didn't volunteer the information. You didn't volunteer what has ever happened. And so as a husband or as a wife, what do you usually do? You normally keep it in-house. You try to settle the matter within yourself. That's what you try to. And if you can't settle the matter within the house, because you're part of the church, you'll try to seek some help and some closure in that route. But all that's supposed to stay right here, not out here for the court of public opinion. Anytime you're dealing with someone like that, you're dealing with a dishonorable person, a person that can't be trusted, a person that is not loyal, a person that has no honor whatsoever at all, and no love whatsoever at all. See, as soon as the news media come into that locker room, them players got to be guarded about how they answer. And if you notice and you pay close attention, pretty much all of them got the same answer. The news reporter will ask them a question about the faults on the defense and stuff, and what they'll say. Well, we recognize, what we need to improve on and stuff on, and we all got to get better. And we're just in here to get better. And then you go interview somebody else. It's all about getting better and getting better. That's the only answer you're going to get. Why? Because we're there to protect the team so that out in the public, nobody points the finger and causes dissension and discord and stuff, and then it gets inside the organization. Somebody done took a grenade, threw it off in the organization. Now you got the general manager arguing with the coach, and you got the owner arguing with the general manager, and now you got the players on the coach and the coaches on the players. That ain't how you become a successful organization. That happens all the time in the church. You'll get people that's not even a part of the assembly, and the church will go out there and talk to the court of public opinion or people who have left the ministry. They'll go out there and speak to them, talk to them, even listen to them in their narrative and stuff, and don't care nothing about the oneness of heart, oneness of mind, oneness of spirit of the particular church organization. Because everybody's trying to defend themselves on what is right and what's wrong. And the only thing the people outside of the camp, the only thing they're looking for is a story. And if that story can bring division, they don't care. If it can bring dissension, they don't care. If they can get people arguing and fighting, they don't care. If they can go to some weak person inside the organization, get them to spill the beans, or they don't care if you lie. They don't care. They don't care if you spin the narrative. They don't care. They're going to report it. Even if you talk to them and you didn't say that, they're going to say it any way they want to in order to keep the news media or the news of it going, because you get a lot of publicity from negative information. And that's where Israel has no maturity. That's where they don't understand loyalty. They don't understand team. Let's go to the Bible. We said we're going to talk about the scriptures. One of the greatest stories that's inside the scriptures is King David. King David decided he was going to number the people one day, and Joab came to him and said, King, come on, we're not supposed to number the people. The Most High, he makes us greater than any of army out there or any nation out there. I don't care. You do what I tell you, go number the people. Guess what? Joab did right, because he was under authority. He was a subordinate to the king. Joab did right and did what the king said, and the king suffered at the hands of his authority, which was the Most High Yah. And the Most High Yah, did he not make David suffer? Yes, he did. Nowhere in there do you see the Most High jumping on Joab for obeying David. Nowhere whatsoever at all. You see, people got to have confidence that who is ever in authority over the person that's in authority, that the Most High, he is going to judge righteously. Or in that organization, there's nobody going to get, ask these professionals out here, they'll tell you, people get fined all the time. And sometimes those fines make it out to the court of public opinion, and the court of public opinion, well, he got fined. Then next thing you know, news media is asking him about the fine. and then they want them to say something negative because they got fined. And you'll watch some of these players when they're up in front of their camera, man, they're upset, they're burning, they're steaming. And you know what they do? Whenever the news reporter asks a question to get them to spill the beans, they still protect the team. That's a concept that all of you out there need to learn, and you need to learn it well, because you didn't grow up in a house of discipline. Many of you have never even been in a discipline whatsoever at all, to where your ass is literally on the line. Most of you have never even defended anything. You've never defended nothing. You never protected anything. You have no idea. We're just a bunch of loose cannons running around out here acting like the news reporter, acting like the enemy. And then we say, well, I'm just doing it for the sake of truth. But to who? Who are you loyal to? If you're on the Green Bay Packers, are you loyal to the team? If you're in the Army, are you loyal to the Army, or you're loyal to Russia or China? Which one is it? Because everybody got questions. Everybody has statements. Everybody has a narrative, but who are you loyal to? You see what I'm talking about? See, people don't get that. Yes, you can be within inside of the Green Bay Packers. You can be within inside of the Army, or you can be within inside of the church, and you can hash these things out, but it's none of the business of the public out there. What's happening within our doors, we can take care of that ourselves. The book even says, dare if any of you have a matter against another, and go before the unbelievers or the unjust and not the saints. See, we invite too many people who have defected from the organization, people who have left the organization, and we still keep contact with them as if they are friends. They ain't your friends. They are enemies that's only looking for information to do whatever they can to cause more people to get offended and to bring more destruction upon the organization. And I can tell you right now, the Green Bay Packers are not going to be putting up with too many members of the organization speaking negative about this, because guess what? All of a sudden, trade deadline comes up and you gone. Think about that. And then you get on the trade wire and you think another team is going to pick you up, and because that team is going to call the Green Bay Packers and say, why did you let this player go? And they begin to tell you the reason why they let him go. And then then you're going to wonder why. I'm a good player. Why ain't nobody else in the NFL picking me up? Well, the Green Bay Packers told this team that's interested in you, because they got rid of you, the type of person you are and the type of character you have. And the team said, no, we can't have that in our locker room. No, we can't. We're trying to win a championship. In the military and army, we're trying to come home live because we're fighting to protect this country. We're not trying to give all the enemies out there some fodder and giving them all the information and all of our intelligence so that they can have a better chance to defeat us. In the organization, the church, man, let there be no division among you. Let us all speak the same thing. How do we all speak the same thing? By supporting your leaders. That's how you do it. Well, what if they're wrong? We can take care of that in-house. See what I'm talking about? I mean, we have no maturity today. A bunch of immature, cardinal, fleshly, earthly-minded, emotional people today that refuses to live after this book. It's sad. It's sad that hardly anybody understands these concepts. See, if you don't understand this, then the best thing to do, if you're part of the Green Bay Packers, you're part of the Army, or you're part of a church organization, is keep your mouth shut, because you don't have any understanding. You can do more destruction from your personal opinion or your offense than you could if you had understanding. That's the reason why it says in Jeremiah 3:15 that the Most High says, I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Just because somebody at one time was a part of us, they're no longer a part of us. So guess what? They don't need to know nothing about what's going on in our church. Yeah, it used to be a part of, hey, that's just like somebody who used to play for the Green Bay Packers. Then they go get picked up by the Baltimore Ravens. And now they're getting ready to play. You know the first thing them people going to do? I'm going to tell you what they used to do. I'm going to tell you their plays. I'm going to tell you what everything they do. But guess what? You may think you know all the plays, and you probably do. But you don't know the plan of attack, what they're going to use on that particular Sunday to play offense and defense against you. That you don't know. And so they change up cadence. They change up looks. They disguise plays because they know that when you play against this team, this person knows all of our secrets. So you got to change things so that we don't get defeated. Anybody understand what I'm saying? Well, anyway, I hope I said something to stimulate thought. And that's the problem with a lot of Israelites today. You have no understanding. You have no sense of team. You have no sense of camaraderie. You have no sense of honor. And you have no sense whatsoever at all of loyalty. You deserve the truth and the truth straightway.